We are back with another episode of Mac Stories Unwind, the show that's all about the picks. I'm John Voorhees, and also with me is, of course, Federico Viticci. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
Doing very well today, thank you. We have some great picks today. I mean, we promise that we won't do video games again after this for maybe a couple of weeks. But I think you and I have been playing a lot of video games, so we both have video games related picks this week.
This is like we have some leftovers, personally speaking, from all the experiments and setup that I've been doing over the past few weeks. That I have one final thing that I want to talk about, and then I should be done for a while, I promise.
You can tell from the show what you and I are diving into at any particular time. You've been diving into all your new hardware and set up with your portable OLED screen and all those things. And
I sold my Xbox.
I know.
I shipped it today. I shipped it today.
That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad.
And I tell you what, the sort of poetic beauty of it. What is it? I shipped my Xbox in the same box in which my gaming PC arrived.
Wow. I bet it went into the box and felt kind of sad. It's like, oh, I'm being abandoned for this other computer. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know if that's poetic or just like it's kind of an emo moment for your Xbox.
Kind of evil, actually. That the box of the thing that replaced the Xbox is also the delivery method to another person.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, I understand. You got to make room in your life for the PC. So the Xbox had to go. All I can tell you is that if I lived in Italy, if I lived anywhere near you, I would have bought your Xbox because I just bought an Xbox myself. But more on that in a little bit.
So do we want to, can we talk about the special thing we're doing before we get into the picks?
I think we should. We're going to do a very quick little promo moment for Automation April. Federico, what do you want to say about Automation April?
We announced this afternoon this major new project that, it's Friday, April 1st, but we don't do April Fool's jokes.
We don't. It's not our thing.
Stories. It's not our thing. I love how people are saying, is it an April Fool's joke? And I'm like, buddy, if you know how tired I am right now, this is...
I'm not fooling around. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So this is the biggest, longest special event we've ever done on Mac Stories. It's called Automation April. It's a month-long event all about automation on Apple platforms with a focus on shortcuts, obviously. This is going to be the kind of multimedia, if you wish, event that involves every single thing we do at Mac Stories. There's going to be special articles and shortcuts on Mac Stories. There's going to be special themed App Stories episodes with segments of App Stories Plus for members about automation. There's going to be special shortcuts and articles on Mac Stories Weekly for club members. And there's going to be a special series of community events on the Discord for Club Mac Stories Plus and Premier members. And to top it all off, there's the big thing we are doing. There's going to be the Automation April Shortcuts Contest. We are doing a contest to pick the best, the most impressive, the shortcuts that will impress us the most, submitted by people. Everyone can participate for free. This is not just for club members. You can create a free account so that we can tie the shortcuts to your identity. You can sign up for free and you can submit up to 2 shortcuts between April 4th and the 20th. So starting Monday, the contest will open. And this contest is special for a few things. First, the prize, right? The best overall shortcut will take home a Stream Deck XL, an Analog Pocket console, 3 years of Club Premiere, and a special role on Discord. Plus, of course, you'll be inducted into the Automation April Hall of Fame. So you'll be on the web and you'll be recognized as a winner. But in addition to the prizes, there's also going to be multiple categories. I don't want to bog down the conversation here. Go check out the announcement on Mac Stories. We've assembled a team of 10 judges, 10 shortcuts experts. So it's the 3 of us at Mac Stories plus 7 more people. do you have the full list handy, John, right now? Because it's really an incredible collection of folks that we are working with. But let's see if I can remember them all off the top of my mind.
All right, so I've got my list here, but I'll let you start.
All right. So we have the three of us, plus Alex Cox, Rosemary Orchard, David Sparks, Chris Lawley, Jason Snell, Matthew Cassinelli,
and Simon Stovering. Don't forget poor Simon.
And Simon Stovering. So it's a group of 10 shortcuts experts, and we try to reach out to people that had a sort of like a unique area of competence in shortcuts. Yep. Whether it's about the Mac or scripting, or taking shortcuts made by others and tinkering with them and remixing them and modifying them, or obviously David and Rosemary have the Automators podcast, and they're bringing all their knowledge to this panel of judges. So I am super excited about this contest and about the whole thing that we've set up. There's going to be a special web app where you can sign up, again, for free, submit your 2 shortcuts. And once you submit the shortcuts, it's not like it's done. You can go in and edit your submission. If you want to, if you realize, I shipped a bug, don't worry about it. We're not like, Apple. We're not going to punish you. You can go in and edit your shortcut. And, submissions will close on the 20th. And then John and I and the judges will get together and we'll start evaluating all the shortcuts that people will have submitted. And once again, an Elgato Stream Deck XL, an Analog Pocket Console, 3 years of Cloud Premiere, and just glory.
Lots of glory
are on the line here. So
definitely
thinking about shortcuts, because the contest kicks off on Monday. For all the details, you can go to automationapril.com or at automationapril on Twitter, because we also set up a special Twitter account.
We did, and that Twitter account I expect is going to be pretty busy throughout the month of April with all kinds of updates about what we're doing, as well as tips and tricks for shortcuts as well. And Federico, April 20th is not just the close of the contest. It's not just 420 Day. It's also...
Blaze it, John.
Blaze it, yes. It's not just about a lit contest, Federico. It's about the anniversary of Mac Stories itself.
There's also
right?
that. There's also that, yes.
All right. Well,
we
that's
are
a big...
turning 13.
13, unlucky 13. I guess maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it, but yeah, it is. You can't escape 13. It comes after 12. All right, Federico, why don't you hit me with your pick?
All right, so my possibly last for a while. Now, don't take this as like this is not a promise, by the way. If Nintendo comes out with Zelda Wind Waker HD for Nintendo Switch next week, I'm gonna pick that, and I don't care about what I said. But let's say that for a while, this is gonna be my last video game pick. Something else that I forgot to mention in the past couple of weeks, just how much I've been enjoying PlayStation Remote Play. So Remote Play, it's very good. So it's the feature that lets you. It's been around for a while, at the very least since the early PS4 days. So I don't want to say it's been a decade, but almost.
It's gotten a lot better too over time.
It was better.
It was a little rough in those early
very
days.
Flaky at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was a little rough. There was no API for third-party apps either. You could only use the Remote Play app and system by Sony. So, I believe that it actually originated as a PS Vita feature, because like Remote Play was supposed to let you. If I'm not mistaken, I think it all started out because of the, like 6 or 7 years ago, like one of the big themes was the idea of like a second screen experience.
Oh,
that's
sure,
what
right.
Silicon Valley was all about. Like, what's your second screen strategy? And that's why Nintendo got, caught up in this, and they made the Nintendo Wii U, for example. And Microsoft was making what's it called? Smart Glass app for Xbox at the time. And Sony's idea was, what if you could use your PS Vita to play PlayStation 4 games, but on a portable device? And so that's how you could use Remote Play on your local Wi-Fi network. Anyway, over time, Remote Play expanded to other devices. And now it lets you play games on different computers, either on the same local Wi-Fi network as your PS4, PS4 Pro, or PS5, or even when you're outside the home. There's a setup involved that requires you to put in your credentials and set up a PIN code that you then gotta put in on the remote play client. But otherwise, if you have a solid Wi-Fi connection both at home and in the location where you're trying to use remote play, you can also use 5G, by the way. That's gonna work reasonably well. Now, it's not the I think, John, in a few weeks when I have more time, I want to check out the NVIDIA GeForce Now cloud streaming service. Apparently, that is the best one around with the least latency. They have set up a more expensive tier where the server racks that they have are running the 3080 GPU.
Oh, wow.
And that supposedly lets you do like 1440p HDR gaming via cloud streaming.
Oh, so why are you telling me this? You're just going to cost me more money again.
And I believe you actually may live close to one of the NVIDIA data centers.
Oh, really? Really? There's one in Chicago?
I think they have a Midwestern data center.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, don't take this. I'm sure they have one in California.
Sure.
I'm sure they have one on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look it up. Anyway,
I will.
GeForce Now should be the best and fastest cloud streaming service around right now. But in any case, remote play. I've been enjoying remote play for two reasons. One, you can use remote play on non-Sony clients. This has been true for a while. For a long time, there was an iPhone and iPad client for remote play on Apple devices that was not the official remote play app by Sony.
Right.
And I don't know what happened to the app because now you have the official remote play client.
It changed its name a couple of times, and I think Sony might have come down on them at some point, if I remember right. I may have written about this. I forget.
Yeah. Then Sony came up with his own native client, but still now you can use remote play. You can authenticate with your credentials on third-party clients, which I will get to in a minute. But the second reason is remote play. I mean, besides the fact that if you have a PS5, you get higher quality video. I believe you can stream 4K on your local Wi-Fi network, and the PS5 is the only one that can do 1080p over a cellular connection. Otherwise, you're limited to 720p, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In any way, I've been enjoying it because there's also, and a few people know this, there's also a remote play app for Mac.
I didn't realize this. I didn't realize this until you told me about it recently because I play on my iPhone.
Yeah, just Google it. You got to download it from Sony's website. But there is a remote play app for Mac that correctly recognizes a connected controller. I used the DualSense, so that was perfect. And it's got the same settings that you can find in the remote play app for iPhone and iPad. And I've been, for example, I can tell you that I've been playing some Horizon Forbidden West on my MacBook Pro with the fancy mini LED display, and it looks really lovely. And yes, I can confirm that PS5 and PS4 Pro can use 1080p, not 4K. They can do 1080p depending on your network connection quality. And generally speaking, it's gotten a lot better. I remember remote play, the first versions were extremely choppy in terms of frame rates and the resolution. It's gotten better. And it's better now with PS5. But yeah, there's a version for Mac that I like. It's got, with the 14-inch MacBook Pro, the mini LED display, you crank up the brightness all the way up. It looks good. I mean, it doesn't look, playing natively on a PS5 good, but it looks more than sufficient for something that you're streaming. The other reason why I like remote play is those third-party clients. I've taken advantage of that ability for remote play to be used on a non-Sony app, thanks to a Mac Stories readers / App Stories listeners who recommended to me this tutorial on this website called viewsync.com. I have installed a remote play client on my Steam Deck. So this is a Linux client called Chiaki. And Chiaki, I guess that's the right way to pronounce it. Chiaki is a third-party client for remote play. There's a bit of a setup involved, though. I had to, first of all, obviously, I had to boot my Steam Deck into desktop mode. So go into the Linux OS mode, download this Chiaki app from the Discover Center, which would be like hacking to the Mac App Store, basically. And then I had to run a series of terminal commands to basically
because Linux, right?
Because well, yes and no,
kind
because you gotta get your API token from Sony, right?
Oh,
There's no easy way to describe this. You gotta get your private token from the PlayStation Network, right? Otherwise, how can Chiaki even stream your PS5?
Sure.
And this website has all the details for how you can do this. Then you go in, you get your token, you copy the token, you open Chiaki on the Steam Deck, you paste your token, it finds your PS5 on the local network, you double click on the PS5, then you go to the PS5 and it says, hey, this is your PIN code, accept this request, and you accept it and you're done. And at that point, the PS5 and the Steam Deck are paired. Then you can take the Chiaki application and you can pin it as a non-game item to the more friendly SteamOS mode, so that you don't have to boot into desktop mode any longer. So now when I want to play remote play on a portable device, I can use Chiaki on the Steam Deck and I can use remote play on the Steam Deck. The only thing that it doesn't do, so it maps all of the gamepad buttons to the DualSense controller, right? So all the Steam Deck buttons are recognized, but obviously it doesn't do a couple of things. It doesn't do haptic feedback like the DualSense, and there's still no way to invoke the PlayStation Home button in the Steam Deck.
How do you deal with that?
What you just force exit, you save your game and you just force exit Chiaki.
Got it.
And you go back to SteamOS, and at that point the connection for remote play will be terminated and your PS5 will go back to rest mode. But yeah, I've been enjoying, I played some Horizon on the Steam Deck via remote play, and I kind of want to try Gran Turismo 7 on the deck and later on the PlayStation. I feel like after Elden Ring, but before I really jump back into Horizon, I feel like Gran Turismo 7 could be a fun palate cleanser, maybe,
Yeah, it seems like I think you should play Tunic too. I think that Tunic's your kind of game.
Yeah,
I think you'll be in the mood for Tunic only because it has a little bit of that Soulsborne feel to it, but in a cute, fun way that will kind of ease you out of Elden Ring and into whatever you do next. I don't know. Worth checking out. That's really interesting. I like that. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I guess to me, one of the things that the Steam Deck makes a little complicated is there's so many options with Windows that are hard to take advantage of on the Steam Deck. Like if that was a Windows machine, you'd be able to just get the PlayStation Remote app itself and not have to rely on third-party software, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Steam Deck is pretty amazing though, given how inexpensive it is compared to something like the Aya Neo that we've talked about before, which is actually Windows but costs more than twice as much. All right, Federico, let me talk a little bit about Xbox All Access Pass. Now, I talked about this a little bit on the Club Mac Stories on our Mac Stories Unplugged Club podcast, but I want to talk about the details about what the All Access Pass is. I actually had a little trouble setting this up because the way it works is instead of buying your console outright, you agree to pay a monthly fee for 2 years, and they send you the box along with the Game Pass Ultimate, which I'll get into in a moment. There are two different plans. There's a $25 a month plan, which gets you the Xbox Series S, and then there's a $35 a month plan that gets you the Series X. So what you do is you go to any retailer that is selling Xboxes, really, and you can get one of these via the All Access Pass. I did it through GameStop, but like in the US, Best Buy, Target, they both have them. I forget who else. Amazon, I believe. When I went and looked, GameStop had them. Some of those other retailers did not. But my sense is that Microsoft is prioritizing the all access pass, and that this is an easier path to getting an Xbox than just going into a store and buying it for the full price up front, because obviously they want the subscription revenue. Now, this is a subscription. I view this very much like I do a video subscription, or, for streaming video or anything like that, in that this is just another channel of entertainment for me that costs a certain amount per month. And the question is it worth it? And to me, this is absolutely worth it for a couple of reasons. I mean, I do kind of compare this to, for instance, the iPhone new phone every year program, which is actually financed through the same exact company as the Xbox. And the iPhone makes less sense in a way, in that a lot of people, I don't know. To me, I feel like at the end of 2 years, when my Xbox is paid off and it's just my Xbox now, I'll still be using that Xbox, and I'll continue to get value for it even past 2 years, because most of the current generation consoles, they last longer than a couple of years. So there's a lot there's value there beyond the subscription. And once the Xbox is paid off, then it's just a matter of subscribing to the Game Pass. But in any event, that whether it's a good value or not is in the eye of the beholder. What it comes with is Game Pass Ultimate. And that's 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate, which normally, if you're not doing this all access pass, would cost you $15 a month. So for instance, I got the Series X, so I've got the $15 plus $20 more, which is going towards actually paying for the hardware itself. And it comes with the Game Pass Ultimate comes with a catalog of over 100 games now. And there are a lot of really good games here. And the thing for me, one reason this made so much sense is that in the past generation of consoles, we were just strictly a Sony PlayStation 4 family. We didn't have the last generation of Xbox. So there are a lot of games here from those older generations. There are titles that go all the way back to the original Xbox, but there are also day-and-date releases of current generation games that are being released from Microsoft Studios. So you've got games like Tunic, which I just mentioned, Forza Horizon 7, Gears 5, Halo Infinite, Guardians of the Galaxy, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm kind of curious about. And then a whole bunch of indie games, things like Hollow Knight and Firewatch, Hades, Dead Cells. Those are all some of my favorite indie games. Plus, as I mentioned, the back catalog, older classics like Fable and the Fallout series. So there's a ton of different games there. Part of that collection of over 100 games includes EA Play, which is a separate you can sign up for that separately through EA, but it's also part of the Game Pass. And I guess on top of that, you get Microsoft's beta cloud gaming service, which I've been taking advantage of and playing some games on my phone. I've been kind of going back and forth between playing locally through the Xbox app on my local network, or playing over the internet using cloud gaming, just to kind of see what the differences between the two are and how one performs versus the other. And then there's a whole bunch of PC games that you can play as well if you've got a Windows PC. I don't. My son does, so he's going to be playing some of those games. So, between the remote play, things on other devices, the Xbox itself, the big catalog of games, many of which I haven't played, and including a lot of the brand new ones, and the fact that there's a PC angle as well, it makes it a terrific deal for me. And I didn't have to, it's been an expensive spring. I've just bought a bunch of Apple hardware. And so it was fairly attractive to me to be able to get an Xbox delivered to my house and only commit to paying $35. Now, yes, I'm paying $35, 24 more times, but I didn't have to pay more than that up front, which was kind of nice given some of the other expenses I've had recently.
Very nice. Yeah, I don't think that service is available in Italy.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I don't think you can rent an Xbox here, or maybe I guess pay in installments or subscribe to an Xbox.
Yeah, it's I think people they try to make this not complicated. It's essentially financing is what it comes down to. You're buying it in installments as opposed to subscribing to it, which means at the end it's yours. You don't have to give it back, which is the same way the iPhone program works as well. The iPhone program is a little different because you can upgrade mid-cycle with a new phone every year. The Xbox, I doubt that there's going to be a new Xbox within that 2-year window unless they do some kind of like plus version of the current gen. But we'll see. I guess maybe they'll have some kind of deal if they do that. But I'm enjoying it a lot. I got myself the wireless headset to go with it and been playing actually on my LG 4K display right now because I don't have a 4K TV yet. That's a whole nother discussion that we covered on Club Mac Stories on Unplugged. But it's been really great so far, and I'm enjoying digging into a catalog, the unique exclusives for the Xbox that aren't available on the PlayStation, and it's been a fun way to really get into some of those. All right, Federico, that's it for this week. I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, and that is Menu Bar Stats. We will be back again next week with another episode of Mac Stories Unwind. You can find the two of us over at macstories.net. Federico is at Viticci on Twitter and Instagram. That's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHNVOORHWS. Talk to you next Friday, Federico.
Ciao, John.